Dr. Aldo Laroya is Director of Brazil's Biotechnology Information Council. Dr. Laroya, what has been the objective of introducing biotechnology into farm crops in Brazil?
Well, agriculture in Brazil is very important. It's our main product, main activity, economically very important for Brazil. So our agricultures need the best technology to produce more, to produce in a very more economical way. So it's important for us because we don't have subsidies in Brazil. So as you know, the farmers depends on the weather, good weather, rain, sun, and so on. So we need the best technology, the most advanced technology in order to produce more.
And what crops grown in Brazil is GM technology currently present in?
We have cotton, corn, and soybeans. And this year we will probably have beans resistant to virus and potato resistant to virus made by Brazilian public companies.
Okay. Can you explain exactly what GM plant scientists do? What physically is the process of making a GM variety?
Well, what we need is, in the beginning, the scientist, he looks in the biodiversity of that plant if there is the gene that he wants. For example, the first generation of GM plants the goal was to diminish the losses in the fields caused by insects, by virus, bacteria, and so on. So first he looks if there is this gene that gives the resistance to insects, for example, in the family of that plant. If there is not, he will search away. I mean, he will search in bacteria or other organisms. So he chooses a gene that can give the resistance for insects. For example, the GM or the BT corn or BT cotton was made like that. So a gene from a bacteria that we have in the soil that is in contact with us since always.
It's a natural bacteria.
It's a natural bacteria. It's a bacteria that has been used as for biological control since the 30s, okay. In Brazil since the 60s. Is the same bacteria that is used in organic or bio production. So this gene that produces a protein that's toxic only for insect, it was put inside the corn or inside the cotton. So when the insect comes, just when he touch the leaves, he can die. And so in this way he cannot make holes in the plant, or so the plant will be resistant. So this is safe because the gene that you choose to put in a plant has to be a gene that comes from a safe organism that is in contact with our food or our daily lives as always, I mean, for a long time.
Okay. And can you give me some examples of foodstuffs and food ingredients that we would routinely eat where GM is already present?
Yes, there is a lot. Almost 100% of all food that we eat contains a derivative of corn, soybean, or microorganism. And the first live microorganisms to be modified were microorganisms since the 80s. Okay. So we have, for example, the chewing gum, we have starch from corn. We have in the bread, for example, a lot of enzymes that are produced from GM microorganisms. So almost all food that we have every day have something, a protein or flour or maltodextrin or sugar that came from one of these GM plants or microorganisms.
And is that does that apply to right across the world or just here in South America?
No, it's across the world. I mean, the first country to produce GM plants was United States, Argentina, and then Brazil. but we have in Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and China, India, with other crops. China, for example, approved GM rice that we don't have in Brazil. So this GM rice will be exported for other countries. In India, they have the GM betterave, I don't know what's the name in English, but it's the green one, it's a vegetable. So they have this vegetable that will be GM as well. In other countries there are tomatoes, broccolis and other vegetables already GM.
Okay. We agree, most people agree that the UN's Food and Agriculture Organization is predicting 9 billion people in the world by 2050. Given your background in science and agronomy, what is your view about whether GM technology should be adopted further throughout the world?
It should be adopted because it's the only technology that can increase production in a short time. It means that you can have more productivity of the plants in the same area, because the problem is you don't have more land to cultivate more food for so many people. So you have to have like the double of the production in the same area that you have now. In Brazil you are lucky because we still have a lot of, around 90 million of hectares to plant, but it's not around the world, you cannot find it. So the only way is to double the productivity and to diminish the losses in the fields is to use biotechnology. It's the only methodology that we have available to achieve this objective.
Okay. Dr. Roy, thank you very much.
Thank you.